Everybody, welcome to a very special episode of Console Gaming Radio, the late night radio show. I'm pretty sure it's 2 a.m. somewhere in the world. You might as well check Google to see which part of the world it is, because I don't know. I'm just guessing right now. I'm running out 5 hours of sleep. I'm here with my special guest, homeboy. We used to work with each other.
Back in the day, man.
Back in the day,
we used to be co-workers and everything, and here we are.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want you to tell me about yourself. Like what kind of what do you want to do on YouTube? Because I know you just started a YouTube channel. Like what is your drive on YouTube? Like, what do you want to do and everything? So, go.
Well, first, man, I want to say to all the viewers out there and everything, the whole setup here, this is legit, and we did this in literally. How long did maybe an hour of setup to do all this shit and get all the audio and everything? So.
A little bit of technical difficulties.
But we gonna fix it. And I'm freaking excited to be here. So the way that I got into gaming and all that, man, to be honest, and what I want to do with my channel. So look, I remember I used to like for years now. I've been playing games. I started playing when I was like 10, 11, 12. And then I've always watched gamers like you got Markiplier, PewDiePie, the big ones, right? T Martin, the Rad Brad, all these different guys. I used to watch their videos, and they used to do the gameplay commentaries and the walkthroughs and stuff. There would be times where I would have dinner, and I would go to my room and just binge watch on some freaking, gameplay, right? And so when I seen that, for me it was like, man, I can do that. I want to entertain people. I want to be able to put my entertainment value out there, put my videos, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there's people out there that are watching, that want to watch videos too.
Right.
And as you know, this is a freaking huge year in gaming.
Right.
Right? Starting April is just everything's going to pop. You know what I'm saying? With just the new releases that we got. And so I just want to be able to put that content out there and entertain the masses.
So, by the way, what is your YouTube channel name?
So, my YouTube channel, you can follow me on or subscribe to me on YouTube at HEXZilla, HEXZILLA. Instagram, HEXZilla, same thing, just 2 A's in the end. Twitter, HEXZilla as well. And
the links to those will be in the description after the broadcast is over.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so, who do you say your inspiration is to do YouTube? What are the top people that you watch that you're like, man, I could do this?
That I can do that. Honestly, it'd have to be PewDiePie. PewDiePie, bro. And the only reason I say that is because I remember when he was super big, doing videos every day. Another thing too, not only gaming, I watch a lot of reaction videos and for rap and music and stuff. So Zeus, there's a YouTuber, his name is Zeus. I was fucking with him heavy for a while. PewDiePie, T Martin, it was one of my favorites too. So all these guys, and I used to watch them every day, dude. Even now, I'll still watch some of their stuff. Yeah. Right.
So I never told you guys who are my inspirations. Back in the day when I first started YouTube.
Yeah. You've been doing this for a fucking while.
Yeah. A lot of my videos are private because it's gameplay for me, not my thing anymore. So I used to take inspiration from DSP Gaming until he decided to go get all weird and become a lolcow. Until he started asking people for money.
Yeah, and started doing the whole. You know what I hate when gamers get so big that they start doing 10 million promotions in their, you know what I'm saying, their videos or
Yeah, but it. 1 or 2 is good.
1 or 2 is fine, but when you're just saturating your videos.
With DSP, I just didn't like how he started talking about, I'm so much in debt. Can you guys help me out?
Yeah,
and shit like that. And okay, I'm done watching you. So another big inspiration. I don't know if you know him. Review Tech USA.
Yep, I know him. Yeah. Hell
yeah. Because a lot of this some of the equipment that I got is because of him. My gaming headset that you guys are not seeing right now, but you saw in my other live stream.
Yeah.
Because of him, I got that $40 gaming headset, and the mic is bomb on that shit.
Yeah, and we've tried it. That mic is better than most of the standalone mics that we got that's in the market. Really.
Yeah, and it's a $40 gaming.
$40 mic, dude. See, because I'd rather spend $200, I'd rather spend $40 than $200 on a freaking
some like I did spend 180 on that thing.
Yeah, but you know what? The Yeti's not that bad. It's not.
It just picks up on everything.
It picks up on everything. Yeah.
So
but that's a whole nother review that we can do on that.
That's a whole nother thing. So we decided to do a podcast together. For right now, we're doing Console Gaming Radio.
You're tuning into Console Gaming Radio.
Yeah, the late night show.
Yep.
2 a.m. somewhere.
Somewhere it's 2 a.m.
So.
Yep. And somewhere somebody's drinking at 5 p.m. in some country. So
that would be me if I had something. I'd be drinking right now if I had something.
We got to take some shots when we start this thing, man. Just
the next episode, I'll buy some whiskey.
All right, perfect. We gonna take some shots.
All right, so you kind of getting back into gaming, right? So
yeah.
Right now, you don't have a lot of stuff.
Right, and I want to preface. That's a good point. Starting from it's from scratch, bro. Like straight motherfucking scratch. I'm doing everything right now. So the process is because we're working on it. We're gonna get the whole set going. I'm gonna get the whole layout of the little studio that I'm gonna do eventually. But dude, it's such a cool experience. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Getting back into gaming and professionally doing it. It's super cool, man. I love it.
Yeah, I know because we've been working on this for the past couple days.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
He gave me a budget of $1,200, and we're in the process of building up a computer. We want to get him a nice desk where you can have 2 monitors.
Yep. The whole 9. We're gonna do the whole 9 on it. Cause even Garrett, if you guys subscribe to G Million's channel, he has his own setup too. But the podcast is almost we're doing this together, and then I'm gonna have my own stuff as well. It's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be a crazy year. You don't want to miss that. Yeah.
And as soon as he gets his set dialed in, we're gonna do everything on Discord. Discord calls, so he doesn't even have to leave his house.
It's gonna be dope, man. We're gonna do the whole 9.
So as of right now, we're gonna do we're gonna do it together until you get a set.
Yep.
Be sure to tune in later tonight. I have a show with Stadia Talk.
That's right. Stadia Talk is doing a show with G Million, man. Don't miss that. Yo, you know what, man?
What?
I seen your Stadia, like the reviews and stuff and everything. Spot on, honestly.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of videos, and I don't want to say it's a flop, but...
Yeah, because you haven't even tried it.
Because I haven't personally tried it.
Yeah, don't talk shit unless you try it.
Unless you try it, but from what I've heard and the things that I've seen, it's looking like that. If you've watched the reviews, not only yourself, but others. I mean, it's not a bad gaming system or anything.
I'm going to get into more of that on tonight's episode.
Yeah.
But this episode is going to be all about Zilla right here. So, what made you get into gaming? I know you probably were a kid and you kind of got into gaming probably, right?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I have to say it started probably when I was 10, 11, or 12 or something like that. So I don't know. You remember you obviously the Nintendo 64, bro. I was playing. It started honestly with Doom and Turok.
Doom
and Rush. Those were the top 3 games that I was playing. I remember plopping it. You remember you had to take the little micro thing, right? Because this motherfucker didn't work. We was doing the whole 9, bro. And those were the 3 games that got me into gaming. And then eventually, even remember PS2 is one of the most the most lucrative gaming systems. When that came out, millions and millions of buyers. Still to this day, one of the biggest consoles that was...
So you started out in the N64 days.
Nintendo 64 days, yeah. We talking way back.
Yeah, you want to hear something funny?
What's up?
The original Rush for the N64 was my very first game that I ever got for the 64.
Dude, that game, right here, by the way, for all the viewers, if y'all ain't never played this classic retro game, try this out.
The best song on there was when you put in your name.
Yeah, dude. You put your name in there. You was like, "Let's do this shit."
He's like,
"Oh man."
The song was like, "What's your name?" And it was just a bunch of weird shit.
Yeah, Hector. You remember that? We're 12 man, but dude, Nintendo 64. I gotta shout out Super Mario 64. You remember that?
Yeah, I didn't like that one too much.
You didn't like it? I feel like that game was almost like the pilgrimage to platform games. Because then remember when PS2 came out, we had all the greatest hits, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, right? Mm-hmm. Even Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, one of the biggest originators of the Grand Theft Auto series that made it what it is today.
Right. So on the N64 time, you got into the Mario. Did you ever get into GoldenEye, Perfect Dark?
Come on now, Perfect Dark. I actually, and I might get some fucking shit for this, but I liked Perfect Dark more than GoldenEye.
You know, you're not the only one because I do too.
Yeah.
GoldenEye was good.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like more of a proof of concept.
Exactly, yeah.
See, with Perfect Dark, they took the formula of GoldenEye and just expanded on it.
Yep.
You want to hear something really funny?
Yeah.
Perfect Dark was supposed to be a GoldenEye sequel.
Really?
But they ended up making it its own game because, you know, there's no female James Bond.
Exactly.
And the license went to EA.
I didn't know that.
So,
damn.
History lesson for you.
History lesson, bro. And you remember, that's so revolutionary in itself. The first female, like, actual character. I remember putting bots in, like, the little matches and just, like, getting my ass whooped because I sucked at the time. But, man, those days were fun.
Remember the first mission where you had to get the key card from the CEO of Datadyne?
Yep.
Sometimes my friend Kyle,
yeah,
we grew up together. We used to go on with the rocket launchers and just
blast them.
Just blast everything. We failed the mission, but we don't care.
We fucked it up. You know what I mean? Hell yeah.
There's something that you can't do in today's games.
Yeah.
There's friendly fires on every NPC in those games, even the president.
Yeah, literally.
And the most fucked up thing is the when you accidentally shoot the president. Those deaths are the most gruesome ones. I don't know why.
For some reason.
I don't know why, but it's just like...
It's like you didn't want to do that.
You don't want to do it because his death is the most gruesome death.
Yeah, you're just like, fuck. Yeah, that's...
And the acting in that game is so bad. Like...
Yeah, but it was so good for some reason.
And if you guys want to play Perfect Dark today, just play on the Xbox One.
Xbox One. And actually, it looks a little bit better on Xbox One.
Exactly.
If you've seen the gameplay quality. Same, almost like the same nostalgia from when you played it at first.
So since you started out on the N64, what's your favorite game on there? Like
off top, Doom
64,
Doom 64, and Super Mario 64.
I think they were re-releasing Doom 64. I don't remember what platforms, but I know it's coming out for the Switch.
Oh, and Duke Nukem. You remember that shit? So Duke Nukem, that was a big one too. I love that game.
I played Duke Nukem 0 Hour one.
Oh yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, I think that was the third person one.
The third person one. Yep.
So after the N64, like, where did you go?
Yeah, so N64, you had to jump to the PS1, right?
Okay.
And I guess the biggest PS1 game was Crash Bandicoot. I didn't really play a lot of PS1, to be honest with you. Great console, super revolutionary. I just didn't play a lot of it. But it was Crash Bandicoot. There were some other games that I can't really think of off the top. But, you know, that really led me to that. But then when the PS2 came out, that's when I started really taking this shit serious. PS2 and PS3.
PS2, PS3?
Yeah, because that's like almost like when I was playing every day. And you remember PS3 Modern Warfare? You had a little clan and, you know what I'm saying? So PS2 was the revolutionary part for me.
So, as far as during that time, that's when I was like heavily invested in the Xbox 360.
Right. And you're more of an Xbox dude, huh?
Yeah, I just kind of jumped in there. Like, I don't know if you heard my last episode where, like, my heart was telling me PS2.
Yeah.
Then I just keep seeing Xbox
in
the corner.
You kept seeing Xbox, yeah.
And I'm like, fuck it, let's do this.
And dude, Xbox is not bad. I'm not hating on Xbox, but I personally, I'm a PS2 dude or PlayStation dude in general. And when the PS2 came out, for me, I feel like that was just the epiphany of me wanting to start gaming and really doing it. As far as YouTube and all that, I didn't really want to... I mean, YouTube wasn't even big like that for gaming when the PS2 was out. You had people...
YouTube wasn't even around.
Probably wasn't, right? I don't think it was around till like maybe...
2005, 2006.
Yeah, almost the beginning or the closing of like...
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace, and we started doing Facebook, but the PS2 was... You know when you're little and you're like... You game every day. You go to school, come home, you play your game. Go to school, come home, play your game. You wake up at 8 in the morning or early as shit on the weekend, play your game. That was me.
Okay.
And I think one of the biggest ones that really made me want to really game more than I did was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Because I remember Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was the first... I played Vice City.
And 3.
I played Grand Theft Auto 3. I've even played the fucking... Game Boy Grand Theft Autos or whatever.
What about the classic PS1 one?
PS1, I played that too. I didn't like that one.
Yeah, me neither.
Fuck that one. But But I did play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas when that game came out. Dude, I was in Disneyland. Here's a crazy story. Disneyland. I remember specifically, I think I was about, I don't remember, maybe 11 or something. I was young as shit. We were in Disneyland, and I remember seeing, like on the board, it was an advertisement. But the advertisement was for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. At the time, I knew about it. And I've always loved Grand Theft Auto. Like, I mean, what kind of kid didn't love Grand Theft Auto? Come on.
Right.
Now. And then I seen that advertisement, and I remember, thank God, my mom was like super lenient because she let me play that shit. And you know how if you're like 12 years old and you were playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, you seen some fucked up shit, right?
Exactly.
Because that was like revolutionary graphics and the nudities, and when it wasn't even nudity, but it was like almost you could have sex in that game. You remember that?
Yeah, in San Andreas.
In San Andreas, I was like the first one to do it, but so I played that. And the thing that really caught me was the multiplayer. Believe it or not. Because I don't know if you remember, you can do multiplayer in San Andreas that you and another person can actually play together, like in the same game. And
Are you talking about like a modded online thing?
No, like on the actual no shit game, you can play 2 players. When it came out for PS2, you can play 2 players. It was a 2-player game, and you and another person could play, and you could both go and steal cars, shoot cops. It was fun as shit. So that was me and my brother. Shout out to my brother Jason, because me and him used to play that shit all the time. But when that was when I really realized I love games, dude. I love doing this.
So did you kind of get into the PS2 like in the middle of the generation or at the beginning?
Beginning, when the greatest hits came out. I played PS2 when they had the demos.
Okay.
Of the PS2. They had a demo of, I think, Sly Cooper. They had a demo of Ratchet and Clank. All those demos, I played that, and then I got that's how much I played it.
Okay, yeah, because I kind of got in the PS2 near the
mid-age of it.
Yeah, like back in 2003. After I was getting after I was playing Xbox. And because PS2 was like cheap.
Yep.
Easy to get.
Cheap. It was one of the biggest games at the time. Consoles.
Yeah, because I remember like when I was a kid, there was a Game Crazy, like walking distance from my house.
Yeah.
And I picked up Final Fantasy X for like
less than
$10.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, I was thinking to myself, man, I'm happy I have a nice girlfriend. I have a PS2. I have some of the greatest games.
Yep.
And I remember the day later, my girl broke up with me.
But you had your PS2.
But I had my PS2.
And that shit made up for it, dude.
And I'm like, damn, well, I got my games.
Back in the day, I feel like you never dealt with breakup. If you were dealing with some shit, just play PS2. Made everything better. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Like, fuck it.
Yeah, like I'm gonna just play PS2 and cry my heart out or something. But it was perfect, man.
So you played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. What else? Like, what other kind of genre games you got into?
In general, like PS2 or like.
Yeah, just like in the PS2 era, because that's when you started playing games, right?
It was like I said, Ratchet and Clank. Sly Cooper was a big one. I used to play that one a lot. I actually loved that game. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I played all the San Andreases. Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 3. Then they came out with like Liberty City Stories or some shit. All the little ones. Mm-hmm. So I was playing on that, and then man, PS2. I used to play. I played Tekken. Was a big fight. Tekken got me into fighting games. So I played Tekken, and then I played Mortal Kombat, Shaolin Monks. I don't know if you remember that. I think that was like it was when they had that game. That was the first. I think it was the first Mortal Kombat that it was like third person almost. It wasn't like a fighter, third person roaming, and you know what I mean.
I know there's a Sub-Zero one, but I don't know if that one came out before Shaolin Monks or not.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. So.
But I know I played Shaolin Monks was one of the main ones that I played, and then I started playing Mortal Kombat a lot. Tekken, Street Fighter for PS2 was dope as shit. Just all those games, and then I was playing Grand Theft Auto so much that I decided to play True Crime New York, and then True Crime LA. True Crime New York, I was playing that really, really badly, bro. That shit was so good to me. It was one of my best games that I played. But just I'm more of a free roam shooter player. Now,
if you're talking about True Crime, there used to be a game called True Crime Hong Kong.
I've heard of that one too.
But they that got canceled.
Yep.
But the developers got bought out by Square Enix, and they made Sleeping Dogs.
And Sleeping Dogs, if you haven't played that game, is fucking amazing.
So,
I was actually reading a thing about that.
Yeah, because that used to be true crime.
Yeah, I was reading the thing. Remember the Sleeping Dogs for PS3 or whatever? I was reading a thing about it. They're actually they're not even gonna do a sequel. A lot of people want a sequel to it.
Yeah, me included.
Me included. Hell yeah, because that game was fun as shit. The fighting and all that.
Right. Okay, so so you're more of the free roaming guy, and did that continue into the PS3 era?
Definitely. Jumping into Grand Theft Auto, have to jump Grand Theft Auto 4.
4. Okay.
4. You remember Nico Bellic? That game was I like Grand Theft Auto 4 better than 5, to be honest. Or I feel like it's more. I wouldn't say I like it more, and it's not graphically and like gameplay, narrative, story. The multiplayer, they don't match, obviously, right?
Right.
But when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, that was like, I feel like it was almost the forefront of like the good graphics. Because you remember everyone was looking at Grand Theft Auto 4, like the shooting is fucking legit.
Right. See, a lot of people actually didn't like Grand Theft Auto 4 because the whole phone system that they had.
Yeah, and it was kind of new, but I loved it. I thought it was dope.
See, with my personal opinions with Grand Theft Auto 4, they shoehorned a lot of the old stuff into the newer generation Grand Theft Auto, and that's what I didn't like. You know, because you had the repetitive missions that barely had the that barely had checkpoints.
Exactly, and they didn't have airplanes. You couldn't fly airplanes. You could fly helicopters, but you couldn't fly.
See, I didn't get that far in that game because you know how you get to a certain mission where you get stuck and you're just kind of saying,
you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna just put this to the side.
Yeah, and that's with me with almost every single Grand Theft Auto except for 5.
Really?
Yeah.
So you beat the whole Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah, I beat Grand Theft Auto 5 on the 360.
Oh yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5 was legit too, man. But yeah,
because with 5, that is next gen Grand Theft Auto right there. That's what 4 should have been.
That's what 4 should have. I actually disagree with that, man. To be honest, I feel like 4 was exactly what it needed to be, especially with the that motorcycle gang one that they did. I think it was the DLC of the Lost and Damned or whatever, or something like that.
Yeah, that
DLC.
was fun.
That was fun as hell. They did the Ballad of Gay Tony. That was fun as well. I feel like those led to Grand Theft Auto 5 because a lot of the mechanics we never had. The last Grand Theft Auto was San Andreas, minus like the Liberty City stories and the little platform ones, like the PSP, PlayStation Portable ones. But like that was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Was the next one was Grand Theft Auto 4 that led to that like era of game for Grand Theft Auto, and so for me, I felt like it was necessary because the driving, the shooting, the police mechanics, the dressing system. They had it in San Andreas, but that one I felt like you can go inside the store and it was like there was, you know, it was an interactive. A lot of the aspects of that game I feel like led to Grand Theft Auto 5 to be what it was, and I think that's why I love both 4 and 5 so much. I think it was necessary to have Grand Theft Auto 4. Yeah.
Yeah, and going back to San Andreas did have a lot of stuff that 3 and Vice City didn't have.
Exactly.
Know? So
like the helicopters.
Yeah, they kind of like build on top of each other.
Mm-hmm. It always just got better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It always progressed.
Yeah.
Something new was in the newer games. And Grand Theft Auto 6, there's a lot of speculation about what's going to be in there. A lot of the Easter eggs that are leading to that and all that, you know, all that good shit. But I feel like Grand Theft Auto 6 is just going to blow out the water of all games because that one's going to be so well put together. You know what I'm saying?
I guess we're just going to have to see.
We're going to have to find out.
So, going back to the PS2 days.
Yeah.
So you... Like I said, you got into it in the mid-generation. You did free roaming stuff. Like, what would you say your favorite game of that generation was?
It's a great question.
And I have a feeling I already know what it is, but...
Take a wild guess.
San Andreas.
San Andreas. Is San Andreas... San Andreas and probably Medal of Honor.
No, okay.
Because that's what got me into first-person shooting.
Now, with me, the PS2 was a exclusives machine. That's where I played all my exclusives, my Xbox original OG,
right? Mm-hmm.
The one right here. That's modded as hell.
Yeah,
that's my third party machine / Halo machine because third party games do look better. This right here was actually my Tony Hawk machine.
Really?
Yeah, because I used to play all the Tony Hawk games.
Tony Hawk. I remember Tony Hawk Underground.
Mm-hmm. I was playing that last night because I was set this thing up.
Tony Hawk Underground?
Yeah.
That shit was dope.
And so like my Final Fantasies, obviously PlayStation, Grand Theft Autos. I waited for those to be on the Xbox.
Yeah.
But I did play San Andreas on the PlayStation
Right,
because I didn't want to wait another year to play on the Xbox.
Exactly. Yeah.
And as far as my favorite game on the PlayStation goes, I really don't have one because it's like that. I kind of skipped that generation.
Yeah. I felt like you went over it only because you were an Xbox dude.
Yeah, because
Xbox fanboy.
Right. And it will probably be like some Japanese RPG game because I used to be really big into Japanese RPGs back in the day.
Right. Like Final Fantasy.
Exactly.
You had the I know, wasn't there like a Naruto that came out or something? Like
there's a couple of Naruto games.
Naruto ones were pretty dope.
Yeah, because once Naruto came out in the US, it became really popular.
Hell yeah.
And that was near the end of that generation.
And you know what? The Naruto Fighter, because I had Dragon Ball Z, all the Fighter Dragon Ball Zs.
Right.
You know, where you were flying in the air and it's just the fighter one.
Oh yeah, those games I think were exclusive to PlayStation 2.
By the way, I'm gonna do a gameplay walkthrough of the new Dragon Ball Z. It's a free roam, by the way. That one is an open world Dragon Ball Z. It's gonna
Dragon
be
Ball Z Kakarot, right?
Kakarot, yep. I'm gonna do a full gameplay and review on that. So check that one out. That'll be in like April or something, because that one's gonna come out soon. But
it's already out.
Well, the review, once I get all my stuff, I'll probably do that later in the month.
Yeah,
just because I want to do like in order. But yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah, because I know you ain't buying it. But yeah, dude, like that was just so. There was so many. I feel like the younger generation, our younger generation of gameplay, was so like. We kind of advanced if you think about it. We started from the 64 with those clanky. Big, you know what I'm saying?
You started with the 64. I was a Super Nintendo guy.
I played Super Nintendo. I did 64. I don't even remember it. Look, I'm from New Jersey, right? So if you're from New Jersey and New York, you probably know what I'm talking about. But over there in New Jersey, New York, you would go to like one of the dollar stores and you can buy Duck Hunt. It was like the big dollar stores that they had, and they had all these little toys and all this shit. You can buy Duck Hunt that you put on your TV. You remember that Duck Hunt? And you shoot the duck thing. That's one of the games I actually started on as well. So that and the 64.
Yes, because I remember the Super Nintendo a lot more than I can relate to a lot of games on the Super Nintendo a lot more than I can on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Even though the PlayStation 2 is like one of the most popular consoles, largely in fact because, you know, you can use that as a DVD player and that was the selling factor.
Yeah.
So, but with me, like I kind of got into PlayStation 1 when PlayStation 2 came out with that little mini PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I kind of skipped half of that PS2 generation because I went to Xbox, which is already talked about the Xbox in my other episodes.
Yeah.
So just watch that. And now we're going to talk about the PlayStation 3. I got in the PlayStation 3 in late 2006.
2006, yeah. I got into it probably when it came out as well.
Yeah, when it was $600, right?
When it was about 600, because I remember getting it for Christmas. And one of the first games that I got with it was, I want to say it was, I think it was Modern Warfare.
Okay, so you probably...
Because that one was that was like one of the first Call of Duties that came out for that was like significant. Or it was actually World at War that I played first.
Well, okay, 3 came out because 3 came out in 2006 when the PlayStation launched.
I didn't really play 3 as much.
No, 3 kind of sucked.
Yeah, it was whatever.
That was Treyarch's first Call of Duty, so I believe.
But World at War was a really good one.
Yeah, 4, World at War were pretty good.
And World at War, look at all the World War II games we have now. Battlefield, right? You have the new Call of Duty, World War II, right? All these different World War II games that Call of Duty World at War, I feel like was one of the first originators for the new generation console that like really put that World War II gameplay out there. It was so different. The flamethrowers, the old weapons, the environment. You were fighting Japanese soldiers. You know what I mean? It was dope as hell. For me, I think that was like one of the first. World at War was the Call of Duty, and then probably I forgot to be honest, but I know that was one of them. Maybe a few of those racing games, but I don't really play race games like that.
So, okay. So on the PlayStation 3, you got into the Call of Duty games. See, I think our story is going to be opposite. You know, we'll probably be getting into the same games, but different platforms.
Yeah.
So with me on the PlayStation, you know, it was Resistance, Ninja Gaiden.
Resistance, I remember
Ninja
that
Gaiden Sigma. And Heavenly Sword when that came out.
Yep. Oh, you like the RPGs, huh?
Yeah.
You were a big RPG.
Yeah, because my PS3 was a better looking PS2.
Right.
Plus, you know, the exclusive machine.
Yeah. Definitely.
So then my brother got into the PS3 more than I did. He ended up getting a bunch of third-party games that I already owned on the Xbox 360 on the PS3.
Yeah.
So we kind of shared that, and whenever I wanted to play an exclusive, I just take the PS3 from him and just play it.
Yep.
So I ended up getting into the Uncharted games.
Uncharted was good.
Yeah.
I think PS3 was a generation of where we really took gaming serious, almost. Because before, you know, with all the Xbox, the very first one that came out, then we had the PS2 and the PS, all those ones. It was the younger time, so I felt like we played it to enjoy it. With the PS3 and like that generation, that's when multiplayer boomed, and we started really taking this serious. Because I remember Modern Warfare 2, we had a whole fucking clan. And I remember hitting my boys up, hey, we got to be on tonight at 8 o'clock, all the clan, I need you there. XGTR, the little tag. XGTR, you know, HEX or whatever. You remember? Yeah. It was dope. And so I feel like that generation was the generation that really moved us to become more multiplayer, become more international, because we were playing with people from all over the world, to become more, have a higher expectation. Because games were getting to be so good at that time. If you came out with a shit game, it was a shit game. Nobody was going to play it.
Right.
Opposed to PS2, you can come out with a shit game, but people were going to play it, and it wasn't like, you know what I mean? So the standard was higher, and yeah, dude.
Right, because the original Xbox kind of like revolutionized online gaming for the console. Then the 360 and the PS3 just built off the top of that.
Exactly.
But the Xbox has a better online infrastructure to this day.
Yeah.
So, you know, thank Xbox for having the balls to make it where you actually have to have a broadband connection to play online.
Exactly.
And I don't think the current generation consoles would be at where it's today if the original Xbox didn't do that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And with Sony, with the PS3, I feel that they were playing catch up for the longest time.
Yeah.
Because the Xbox 360 launched with achievements in 2008. The PS3 had to do wanted to copy them and trophies.
Jump on that, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember achievements were a big thing. You wanted to get those, yeah.
And good thing that they did, because the trophy system ends up being better than the achievement system it is today.
It is, yeah.
Because if you get all the trophies, you get a platinum trophy, and I just started getting into platinum hunting.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So on the PS3, you played a bunch of Call of Duty games.
Yeah. By the way, guys, put down in the comments, what was your favorite PS3 game? Because I want to know.
Yeah, me
just
too.
Curiosity, man.
So Call of Duty games, like, I feel that if I ask you, that's going to be both of our favorite game series of that generation.
Yep.
Because the fact that we played 24 hours plus in each game.
Literally. I remember waking up in the mornings, just my first thing was, I gotta play that game. Boost that thing up, and it was dope. And you can't forget, even Red Dead. Red Dead was a big one. The first one that came out, I had it right when it came out. The multiplayer on that was so fun, dude. Red Dead Redemption. And it was the first legit... I mean, we had Gun. That was my first cowboy game, was Gun.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was fun as shit. But Red Dead, man, was like a whole nother level of cowboy and western shooters and things like that.
So it seems like you got into a lot of the games that involve shooting.
Yeah, open world shooting. I love games like that. Which is,
you and my friend Kyle has that in common, because he just wanted to play online. He's like, if it doesn't have online, I'm not interested.
Right.
Unless it's like Skyrim or something.
And you know what? I don't agree with that, dude. I feel like people always say like multiplayer is like the new wave of gaming and stuff like that, but I still believe in campaigns. I still believe in single player narrative, linear storylines. I believe in those. Because a good example for those of you guys that played The Last of Us, if you played The Last of Us, dude, you would know that game right there, for me, The Last of Us is my by far favorite game ever in the world, which you probably were going to ask me at one point. but that's it. It's The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Linear, single, just straightforward path. There was no twists and turns. It wasn't even an open world game. Last of Us was a straight linear game, but the mechanics, the shooting, almost the realism, the scare factor. Because you played Last of Us, right?
Of course, I have it for the PS3 and
right. Which another fact, guys, Last of Us 2 is coming out in April. I forgot when in April.
I think it's May.
Is it May?
I believe.
I'm thinking of another game. I think it's May as well. So it's coming out in May. I was thinking of I think it was Cyberpunk. One of those games.
Cyberpunk got postponed to September. The big game coming out in April are
well, I know
Final
it's
Fantasy 7.
Final Fantasy, that's the one I was talking about. That one's gonna be lit. I already know.
So yeah.
But Last of Us 2, I'm gonna do a review on that when it comes out. That's gonna be one of my big games of the year for the channel. You wanna stick around for that? I'm gonna do a full gameplay, review, commentary. I'm probably gonna do Easter eggs because I know they're gonna have them and a whole bunch of stuff.
See, like the 7th generation, the Xbox 360 and the PS3,
yeah,
we're building upon multiplayer. We gotta have multiplayer.
Gotta have
everything.
I think like you have to now. If a game doesn't have multiplayer, it's almost like irrelevant in the gaming world.
Like, why should we spend $60 on this?
So I totally agree with that. But I also believe that single player is lacking because a lot of times you'll come out with like look at freaking Star Wars, the newest Star Wars. Which one is that? Is it
Jedi Falling Order?
Falling Order. If you played that or if you've seen it, great game. I like the storyline. It's okay, but like, you know, they could have done a lot more things. Even with the other Star Wars, the first person one that came out, the very first person one, it came out. The multiplayer was the big thing in that. It's like there was so many things wrong, especially with the fuck all of you developers that add micro fucking transaction into your games. By the way.
Yeah.
If I play World War II and I have to pay for a fucking red skin, fuck you.
And
no disclaimer.
And that brings me to one of my points. The 7th generation at the beginning build multiplayer. Like they really revolutionized it to everybody.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people play those games just those systems just to play multiplayer games. And by the end of 7th generation leading to the majority of the 8th generation, I believe the 8th generation consoles and developers and publishers behind all that destroyed multiplayer for me.
Right.
Because I don't want to buy a multiplayer only game. I don't want to have like a short ass campaign and have a multiplayer. Then they'll ask you to buy stuff upon that multiplayer. And for me, this generation right now that we're in, I don't want to pay to play online. Pay $60 for a multiplayer game, then pay on top of that
to get perks, pay to win games, basically.
Yeah, to get their shit.
Like keep that shit with the cell phones, keep that shit with mobile, alright? All that pay to win stuff.
Yeah, see with the single player games, the majority of them won't have that, but there are some that will, and the community is quick to jump down the throat for it.
Kind of like in that's right, like in I forgot which game it was, but I remember there was this big uproar. I want to say it was 2K19 because of all the microtransactions and stuff, where people were complaining about it, and it became a big thing. And what did they do? They took away the microtransactions or whatever. Actually, I think it was
one it was Battlefront 2.
Was it Battlefront?
Yeah, it was Battlefront 2. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, that's the biggest one.
Horrible. No offense to them, but that shit was
when they announced those time savers where you could buy every single weapon in the game with
literally
that. And you could take those same weapons into multiplayer that people have to rank up to get.
Exactly.
See, that's fucked up.
Like, I don't want to play 60, 80 plus hours for one fucking gun, dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
If you're gonna have microtransaction, have cosmetics.
You're right. And quality microtransactions. Quality. Don't just give me one red skin for my fucking M4 and be like, here you go. By the way, $5 for this. Fuck that. No. I want a whole bundle for $5. You better give me a fucking 3 weapons, side weapons. I want perks, the whole 9, bro. Cause
if you're gonna sell like stuff like camos and stuff, just make it available for all the weapons, which is their Call of Duty like in the past has been good at doing that. I don't like the blueprint system in the new Modern Warfare because one blueprint is for one gun.
Yeah.
And there was a good anime skin that I want, but it's for an assault rifle that I'm not using.
Exactly.
So that just makes it useless.
Right.
Like I'll pay for a camo. It's just you make it for every single gun. I don't mind doing that. But when you sell guns, then you have to buy camos on top of that.
Yeah. Instead of like it was back in the day where you just
you
had a kill
it.
streak or you just earned it. It felt so much better.
Like in the end of the 7th generation consoles, the Call of Duty games, you can buy camos you buy one camo and it works for every single gun.
Exactly.
And that's what I liked.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, one camo is so and so amount. You can buy a bundle and it'll have different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got a bang for your buck essentially. You know what I mean?
And so with me, like the multiplayer scene is kind of like tainted, and I don't want to deal with it anymore.
I agree. With all these microtransactions is the biggest thing. I feel like the developers a good amount. Like Bethesda is a good one.
No, not recently.
Not recently, but I'm gonna tell you why I said that. When they came out with Fallout, which one was it?
But they came out with Fallout 3, 4. The 76 is garbage.
I want to say it's the Fallout after the Las Vegas one, New Vegas or whatever.
Oh, Fallout 4.
Fallout 4. So remember they came out with that one, and I remember watching the release of it. I think it was at like a fucking it was at like one of the big game release what is it like? You remember they have those, what are they called, those big game release?
Oh, like those big statues and stuff like that? Like
no,
the special editions?
No,
like a launch event?
It was a launch event or something. I forgot which one. I seen the video, but the developers, they were saying all these things about it's gonna be historic mapping, or it's gonna be huge mapping, and it was pretty good. But they were saying that technically, in a technological aspect, no loading screens, to and from like missions or anything or whatever. They said that there was not going to be no lag or minor lags, or if there is not even any technical, things like that are going to happen. It was going to be technically revolutionary. All these different things just for it to flop, because it wasn't even that. I personally didn't think it was as good as the other Fallouts. I like Fallout New Vegas, or which one was it? New Vegas?
Yeah, New Vegas. That wasn't even developed by them.
Yeah, exactly. I like that one better than this new Fallout. So they're a good company, but I feel like a lot of companies nowadays, minus like Naughty Dog, I feel they're my favorite and they're just killing it. But minus that, a lot of developers kind of give out half-ass games now, or they don't put as much time into it. You know what I mean?
They just want to sell you stuff after the game release.
Yeah, and then they throw here microtransactions, multiplayer, so we can make our money back. Look at Fallout Breakpoint.
You mean New Vegas?
No, sorry, not Fallout. Sorry.
You mean 70s? If you do mean Fallout, it would be 76.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about what is it called? The movie we were just talking about, Breakpoint. I'm having like a brain fog.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Look at that game. It was a broken game initially. You know how many patches they had to do and updates? When that game came out, it was a broken game, I feel like. And all these microtransactions to make up for it, and it was just lackluster, man. Like, give out complete games, fully complete games, make sure that it's complete, 100% ready, and then give it out to the players, because it's becoming horrible at this point.
It's half-assed now, patch later.
Right. And it should be fully complete, ready to go upon buying it. You know what I mean?
See, at the beginning of the 7th generation, it was like that. Like, it was, the games, sometimes they still release broken, but you didn't have to worry about the microtransactions and stuff like that. In 2012 and up, during that time, that's when they started really getting popular. Then when the 7th generation, the 8th generation rolled around, it's just like mobile games turn into console games now.
Right.
That you have to pay $60 for. So like, I'm pretty sure I already know, but what's your favorite game on your PlayStation 3? Like
Last of Us. Has to be The Last of Us. Best game I've played, probably.
Yeah, Last of Us.
Super excited for Last of Us 2. Yeah.
I think me personally. See, that is hard. I'm gonna have to say. It's hard to just choose one. I'm gonna probably gravitate towards Uncharted 2 was a good one.
Uncharted. I played all of those, by the way. Great game.
Catherine's a good one.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. I personally haven't played that one. I've heard good things about it, though.
Persona 5 came out on the PlayStation 4, so I'm not going to count that.
Yeah.
Yeah, mainly Uncharted 2 because
but you see how Naughty Dog is just killing the game.
Yeah, Naughty Dog,
just
man.
Destroying it, man.
It's a single-player game.
The multiplayer wasn't even as big as this. The main focus was what?
Single player.
The single player. And look how well
I don't even know if Uncharted 2 even had a multiplayer. I know 3 did.
3 had a multiplayer. 2, I don't think they did.
4, I know they do have a multiplayer.
I think it was after 2 is when they started doing the whole multiplayer.
Even The Last of Us had a multiplayer.
And The Last of Us multiplayer was legit if you played it.
They
really, really fun. I put like 40 to 50 hours into that.
Yeah, you know they took out the multiplayer in 2, right?
Where?
In Last of Us 2?
I don't even mind that. They'll probably add it in later. They'll probably do a DLC or some shit.
They'll add it in later.
They'll add it in later, but I'm not even mad at that. Like, that's how good of a game, narratively, story-driven, that game was. That I can't be mad at that, dude.
Yeah, because it was a big deal because a lot of people were, in fact, upset about it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it.
And the game itself is going to be a pretty decently long game. I already know there's going to be a lot of, little things that you can do, maybe some side missions or something like that you can do that'll keep it like a game that you can play over and over, you know what I mean? And
right.
Yeah.
So now we're going to get into detail on the PS4. Did you ever get into the PlayStation 4 at all?
Hell yeah. What? Dude.
Well, because I remember when we met, you weren't really playing any games.
Yeah, so there was just like a background because because we spoke about this. I haven't played I had a gap in gaming from about 2014 till maybe last year or 2 years ago where I started playing PS4 again, and then another gap because I joined the military. I joined the Marine Corps, and then I was doing all this business stuff, and like I had a business and I was really doing that. But dude, when PS4 came out, they had Last of Us Remastered. I played that one too. Freaking amazing, dude. Mm-hmm. And then they had that game. I remember they had the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 came out, which was pretty fun. I liked it. It was alright. I mean, I'm not going to say it's the best Call of Duty, but it was good for the new generation. It was good. They had that game. I remember playing Mortal Kombat. One of the Mortal Kombats came out.
Probably 10.
Yeah, it was 10 because we're at 11 right now. So I think it was Mortal Kombat 10 came out. I played that one. There was a whole bunch of new games that came out and I loved it. BioShock on PS4 they remastered it. They didn't remaster it, but they had the
collection.
The collection. I played that on PS4 and it was super fun.
By the way, that game is free on PlayStation Network. So if you have PlayStation Plus, you can download it.
For BioShock, right?
Yeah.
And you should, as you should. If you have not played BioShock, you're missing out, dude, because that game is magnificent. One of the best games that I played as far as like almost like post-apocalyptic. It wasn't even a post-apocalyptic. It's like pre-apocalyptic.
Now, going back to one of my videos, I played BioShock Infinite for an hour on GeForce Now. That's a cloud service.
Nice.
So if you guys want to watch that, I'll
watch it. It's super good. Mm-hmm.
I was just testing out that service because I had it for free. So you got the PlayStation 4 when it came out, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what was your launch experience like?
It was great because with the PS4, it was like there was so much more to do, and like I was saying, the multiplayer experience was like different than you wouldn't like. That's when multiplayer became a thing. Every game had multiplayer essentially. Has multiplayer, So the launch initially when I got the PS4, I got it for Christmas. I remember the day that I got it. It was a bundle pack, Last of Us bundle. Mm-hmm. Fucking loved it, and I started playing a lot more. Then I had the gap in 2014 where I really stopped playing it. But the time that I did play, I was mainly playing, like I said, the multiplayer. I never really played multiplayer in PS3. Maybe except for Call of Duty was like probably the only one, and Battlefield.
Probably 3.
Battlefield 3, yeah. Those were like the only multiplayers that I really played, essentially, I think. But when it was PS4, that's when I really got into the multiplayer field, and I like started doing the Prestige. You remember you had to have a good kill to death ratio and all that bullshit. I really got into that, dude, and now I will say though, I'm not much of a multiplayer now. I do like multiplayer, and I am gonna play, and I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna do Twitch eventually, so I'm gonna do multiplayer stuff. Except Fortnite, fuck that game. But I do like multiplayer, but I love narrative single player games. I love it.
Right. So how did you feel about having to play online now?
The pay to play, I think it's ridiculous. I think that if you're gonna do pay to play, kind of like we talked about, make it worth it. Make it worth it for the buyer. You know?
Yeah, because as of right now, Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus is not worth it.
Yeah. Now, as far as like to actually play, because I remember when PlayStation came out with and Xbox as well, with the whole you have to pay for PSN and you have to pay this amount a month and get the subscription to play online or to play certain things and all that crap, right? I wasn't mad about that, and I think that's okay. If you're gonna get a multiplayer service, pay for it. I just think that the games in general should stop bullshitting and giving out and the stupid ass microtransactions. Look, Call of Duty World War II was disappointing to me.
Yeah, very.
Because of that.
That's when I kind of stopped playing Call of Duty games.
Yeah, and that for me was like, they need to fix this because, I don't want to pay for every single fucking thing. Oh, you're in the battlefield shooting and then a huge ass box comes out of nowhere. And, you know what I'm saying? Fuck that. Yeah.
Yeah, they developed that whole headquarters thing just around loot boxes.
Exactly, and I think that was shitty as fuck. And but overall, my PS4 experience was great. I think it was super like the graphics, and as far as graphically and like advancing in a system, PS4 nailed it, and Xbox 360 as well, or Xbox One, I mean, nailed it, and they like really made it what it is today. Because look at the new ones coming out, the PS5 and the new Xbox coming out. They're gonna be graphically revolutionary, dude. They're gonna change the game.
Right. Now, see, with Call of Duty, going back to Call of Duty, the main reason why I bought Call of Duty on the PC, check this out, because I didn't have to pay to play online, and it's cross play too, so I could play against PlayStation people, Xbox people, and you know what? They have to pay to play online, and I don't. Exactly. And
the smart decision,
Yeah, it's like, okay, so the Call of Duty game, this Call of Duty game is not going to die on the PC like all the other ones do. Yeah. I don't have to pay $60 a year.
Yeah, and I think that's why I really want to get into the PC field as far as like playing the games and stuff. Obviously, when PS5 comes out, I am gonna get the PS4 again. I sold mine, but I am gonna get it again. And I'm going to play that, but I think PC gaming is where it's at right now as far as, like, what's the main console or the main, like, platform would be PC.
Right. Now, with the PS4, I picked that up before I got my Xbox One because the whole debacle with Don Matrick, if you guys don't remember, they want you to be online at all times to play Xbox, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. That's how I got into my PlayStation 4. Before Xbox, so I ended up getting my PlayStation 4 Pro back in 2016. Sold my friend my original. He still has it. And I sold my PlayStation 4 Pro to go to Georgia. Then
I sold mine too to go to. Remember we had that like convention thing that we had to go to? Yeah. I sold my PS4 to go to that.
Yeah, same here. And now like I missed out whole 2 years of exclusives. I'm like, I'm just gonna bite the bullet, get the PlayStation 4 Pro again, and
jump back into
it. And I've been catching up on my PlayStation 4 games that I missed for the past 2 years.
And I'm telling you, dude, the exclusives, everyone knows it. Yeah. Xbox fanboys are gonna say shit about that, but PS4 exclusives are by far the best. Exactly. In the gaming industry.
So the next generation consoles is going to be very hard to decide which one you should go with. I'm going to say if you have the money, get both because both of them have good exclusives, and the Xbox has the Xbox Game Pass, which is amazing. $10
and there's a new Halo coming out, so yeah, you might want, if you're really into Halo.
Yeah, you could play Halo for $10 a month.
Right. Yeah. So it's not bad.
Yeah, and you can play Halo Reach through 5 right now. Yeah, $10 a month.
Exactly. So it's not a bad cost, or it's not worth buying. But do understand, I do like both. I had an Xbox 360. I never owned Xbox One. My brothers did, so I played that, and they were Xbox kids. But realistically, for me, PS5 is gonna just that's what I'm gonna go with first. So like he said, man, if you have the money, I would get both, because it's two experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, you got to find out what's your favorite. You can't knock both of them.
Right.
I'm just saying though, because kind of like The Last of Us. Jumping back to that, if you haven't played The Last of Us because you play Xbox, you really have to jump into The Last of Us at least, because those exclusives are definitely worth trying out, even if you don't play PlayStation.
Yeah, and the PlayStation 4 is mainly an exclusive machine.
Yeah.
And they do have a lot of third-party and first-party exclusives.
Yeah.
My Xbox is going to be my third-party machine with that for games that are going to be released on all platforms, because technically the X is more powerful than the Pro.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Or I could just get the game for the PC and it'd be more powerful than the X.
Right. Yeah.
Then now cloud gaming is entering the picture, so that is something to look forward to.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun, man. Yeah. 2020 is going to be a big year.
So the next generation consoles, we don't know what's going to happen, and it's going to be harder than ever to choose which one's going to be good. You should get. Obviously, if you and your friends are in a certain ecosystem, like you guys been Xbox the whole time, you guys have Game Pass, you guys don't want to PS4 PS5 for whatever reason, that's fine. Stick with your Xbox. But you're just gonna miss out on these exclusives. So
right.
So you guys can't cry and say, why can't we get Last of Us? Why can't we get that?
Yeah.
Well, that's your fault for choosing that system, but
right.
But we're not knocking you for it.
Exactly.
Just
pick wisely is what it is. Pick whatever floats your boat.
Mm-hmm.
Is because I don't like Halo like that. I played it before. It's cool, but I don't like Halo as much as for me to have an Xbox. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's not worth it for me to like play more Xbox. I am eventually gonna own both, personal preference, but to kind of like piggyback off what you were saying, it's a preference, man. It's all whatever floats your boat. Yeah, because they're both great systems. It's just what do you like better? What can you see? What can you enjoy more?
Yeah,
on a daily basis.
And another thing that gravitates me on PlayStation is because like the whole multiplayer shit that's been going on right now. Like I'm done with multiplayer.
Yeah.
I'm almost done. Like I'll dabble into Call of Duty once in a while. Like I was playing Call of Duty the other night with Vince.
Yeah, you were. Which one?
The Modern Warfare. He texted me like around midnight.
How was that?
He's like, Garrett, one-on-one me, bro.
How was it?
It was pretty fun.
So, did you play it in the big room with the whole screen and all that?
We're gonna eventually get that dialed in.
We should. That would be dope.
But like I said, I'll dabble into multiplayer once in a while, but it's not gonna be my main focus. My main focus is single player games, cloud gaming, and dabble into multiplayer stuff here and there. So.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because having a good story, having good gameplay around that story is a lot more enjoyable for me than just doing the same thing over and over again for hours at a time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in the future, like, what do you want out of PlayStation 5 and the next Xbox?
I think the biggest thing is let's jump back to single player. Let's put emphasis on campaigns and single player modes.
Right.
Let's put emphasis on storyline.
Right.
On character development. Right.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these games, I want to see character development. I think that's the big thing. Kind of like Metal Gear Solid. These are just classic games that their storylines were what made the game. Metal Gear Solid. You had Snake. Everyone knows Snake. Everybody knows Metal Gear Solid, even if you didn't play it.
Right.
Last of Us. Everyone knows that game. Joel, you had Ellie,
mm-hmm.
two significant characters. Half-Life, Far Cry. You know these characters is very story driven. For the next gen console, since we're so advanced at technology, keep the multiplayer. I think that's great. Multiplayer is fun as fuck, especially when you have a group of friends or if you're playing crossing platforms or whatever. It's still a dope experience.
Yeah, multiplayer is not going anywhere.
But put emphasis on single player. Do not just disregard it, because I feel like that's really the best part about games, man. Because we never had multiplayer before. Mm-hmm. It was always single player. It was always, the main game, like just playing it.
Right. And I feel that Xbox gravitates more to multiplayer side. So if multiplayer is your thing, Xbox.
Yeah.
You know, Halo, Gears, some of the Battle Royale games, you can all play on the Xbox.
Gears of War 2, by the way, for Xbox is one of my favorite exclusives.
And
I gotta give it to them.
And PlayStation, Sony is doubling down on single player games, as you can already see. You got God of War, Horizon, you got Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, Cyberpunk is strictly RPG single player. I mean, I don't know is there going to be multiplayer in Cyberpunk?
Eventually.
I got to read up on it. Eventually there will be, but as of now, it's just an RPG single player.
And the best part, you can play that on all platforms.
Right. So it's perfect.
Even cloud gaming, you can play that on cloud gaming too.
Mm-hmm. So I can see the trend in like Sony jumping towards the single player, more like character development field. You know,
and it's
which is great,
and it's working out for them.
It's working for them, yeah, and I think it's great. I think that's a great move. I think Xbox with their multiplayer is going to be more advanced than Sony multiplayer because they're going to have all the different things you can do on it. Mm-hmm. The cross-platforming, especially with Xbox, was revolutionary because they've never cross-platformed before. And I feel like that's going to happen more.
Yeah, even Sony was like the last to jump on it. Like
exactly.
It used to be just Xbox, PC, and Nintendo.
Yeah. With
Fortnite, but Sony finally just like fuck it.
Exactly.
And Call of Duty was like the first AAA title to do cross-platform.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's becoming a trend.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think that's great.
And I feel like Borderlands 3, very big disappointment. The game would have been so much better if it did have crossplay.
If it did crossplay, yeah. And that was a great game. Borderlands was a great game.
1 and 2 were great, but 3 kind of sucked.
Yeah, I like 2 was my favorite. I think 3 was a okay game in itself, but just they missed the ball on that.
Yeah.
So developers gotta cross-platform, man. We're in 2020.
Yeah,
if you're not cross-platforming games, you're just missing out on. You know what I mean?
If your game is not cross-platform 2020 and above, you're done. I'm not
even gonna invest into that.
No. Yeah. Except like some of the battle royale games are really big. That's a big thing right now, and you're gonna have a player base no matter what platform you're gonna be on. Yeah. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's gonna be that's not gonna matter so much, but like now you're gonna have to have cross-platform. Yeah. Or people are just gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like.
So, what is your favorite game of the 8th generation so far? Like. I know it's not over. I know you're more of a PlayStation guy, so I'm just going to say PlayStation. What's your favorite PS4?
It's going to be a PlayStation. My favorite PS4?
Like right now, like not including like Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I can't even say Last of Us because it's just a remastered. But I guess my favorite PS4 game that I played, that's a great question because I played a lot of PS4 crap. But honestly, I'd have to go with... That's a great question, man. Last of Us Remastered, I don't know why, dude. I'm like a Last of Us fucking addict, dude. But Last of Us Remastered is almost like a new game to me. I loved it. Right. But it had to be...
How would you feel if they delayed it for a year and just made it for the PS4?
I'd be fucking pissed about the delay, not pissed about the just made it for PS4. I wouldn't care. But if they delayed it, I would have been like, what the fuck? If they delay Last of Us 2, I would be like, what the fuck?
They delayed it like 3 times already.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So if they do it again...
So you're saying Last of Us Remastered
was great. And I did like Resident Evil. The which one was it? Not the first person one?
The 2?
Resident Evil 2.
Did you ever get into like God of War or Spider-Man?
Yes. I haven't played. You know what's funny? I haven't even played the new God of War yet. That's one game that I do want to do a review, post-review, like, just to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, that game's super cheap. You can get it.
Exactly. So that's another thing, dude. I'm going to start doing a lot of post-reviews from all the shit that I missed. So, God of War. I'm going to still do the Last of Us Remastered review. I have to. But I'm going to take all those games that are already, like, and I'm going to do a review of them post. Kind of like... You know, I'm a little late on it, but I don't give a fuck. And then April's going to be straight videos every day, commentaries and everything of the newer.
See, with me, PS4, hands down, best game so far of that generation. I'm going to have to say Judgment.
Really?
Judgment. Oh, my God.
Really?
Dude.
Did you like that one?
Hell yeah, dude. Have you ever played the Yakuza games?
Yes, Yakuza. Yeah.
Yes. So what they did was they took that formula, they completely dubbed it in English with good voice acting. The lip syncing is spot on. Like you really have to notice it to see the imperfections of it. They took that formula and they streamlined. Like they made it really, really good. You're a private detective. Very heavy driven, like very heavy dialogue driven. A lot of twists and turns. If you like those 3D beat 'em up games, you're gonna love this.
Kind of like Sleeping Dogs is one of those.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it's a form of it's like Sleeping Dogs. I remember Yakuza, which is a great game by the way.
Yeah, so like it's so good. Like there's some parts that are kind of annoying, but it's just the story because you need to figure out who killed these people, and it's just all twists and turns. It's all like Japanese corporate, espionage stuff, like Yakuza people get involved. You got crooked cops, and it's just really good. And you're gonna see a side of the world that a lot of games don't cover it nowadays,
right?
Except in the Yakuza games.
Yeah.
And a close second would be God of War, and the third would be Spider-Man. Spider-Man, I platinumed that game. It took me like 50 hours. I just loved it. Like
I think Spider-Man was such a good game. I think Spider-Man was the first the first superhero game, like Marvel game that actually was good. Apart from, well, I can't say Batman because DC, but Batman Arkham City was amazing.
Right.
But I feel like Spider-Man took the combat from there, the combat like dynamics, and just killed it. The web swinging was good. The fighting was good. Graphics were astounding. It was such a good game overall.
No, I could be wrong. Marvel Spider-Man for the PS4 was like one of the first Marvel games to be nominated for Game of the Year.
I'd have to look that one up. I just know.
But like from all the game, like when I got heavily involved into the like Game of the Year stuff, that's just my opinion. But I could be wrong, but 2018 that was nominated for Game of the Year. The voice actor was nominated for voice actor.
Oh yeah, it was actually. It was.
And
which is crazy because that's never happened. We've never had a.
I'm pretty sure one of the Batman games was Game of the Year because they.
I don't think so. I think they were a contender.
Well, yeah, because they've been like sometimes they'll release like a Game of the Year edition with all the DLC.
Right.
So.
Arkham City and Arkham Asylum were great games.
And you can play all those on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox.
Or Xbox. They were great games.
When it comes to the Xbox One, my favorite game, hands down, it's a third-party game. Some of the exclusives in this generation for the Xbox is kind of crap. Metal Gear Solid 5.
Metal Gear Solid, dude. Great game.
I don't know what. Okay, this open world game was it's like the best type of open world game you can have. Here's a map. Here's a bunch of enemy bases.
Yep.
You need to do missions in these bases. Here's the tools.
And go ahead and do it. It's just there's everything set up, and the mechanics of it was great. It was perfect.
You could sneak through it without being detected.
I love the stealth from Metal Gear. There's two stealth games that I love absolutely: Splinter Cell Stealth and Metal Gear Solid. They really changed the game on stealth for me. Those are the two games that got me into like even liking stealth games in general.
Right. See what Metal Gear Solid did to me.
And Sly Cooper for PS2.
What Metal Gear Solid did for me was it was so like the open world was so good that it turned me off on a lot of the other open world games. I'm like, well, this is not like
up to standard of what I've already
played. This is not my standards anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And that game made me kind of get tired of all the other open world games in a good way because it's like I can't do this like right now. I need a break because it doesn't compare to Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yep.
And the best part, like with Metal Gear, it's a decent story. It's not the best, but they took the gameplay of Peace Walker and just expanded that because that was like a lot of people's favorite Metal Gear Solids, including Greg Miller's from Kinda Funny.
Yep.
And I think Metal Gear Solid 5 is one of my favorite, minus the story.
Right.
But the gameplay loop, oh my god,
it's great.
It's great.
You can't complain about it. I think they're great. It's a great game in general.
Right.
And yeah, dude. Metal Gear Solid.
And going back to the PlayStation, I do like Death Stranding. Fight me on that. Fight me. I
think that's like I feel like that's personal choice, you know. Like you either love it or hate it. It's a weird ass fucking game, but
well, I didn't pay $60 for it. I paid like $30 for it too.
I personally thought it was kind of like it's like almost like a pick up a fucking whatever those shit the boxes or whatever.
You know what?
And then walk them to the simulator. It was a walking simulator for me because
you know what you should do.
I personally didn't. Yeah.
If you want to experience the story of Death Stranding and not play the game, which is that's totally up to you, just watch the 11-hour cut. Watch the 11-hour video where people just made it like a movie. Because the story in that game is a mindfuck.
Yeah.
Like it will just fuck your mind. Like a lot of twists and turns. Like almost as much twists and turns as Judgment.
Yeah.
So, as far as the PS5 for me and the Xbox Series X, just make like what Hector said was good. Just make more single player content. Get rid of these microtransactions.
And that's pretty much it. Yeah. That's all I can really say. You take away the microtransactions, which are shit. We don't need them. Put a better achievement system where you can earn your achievements, earn your upgrades, and all that stuff, and a good single player mode. And I think you're in the money.
Yeah, and I'm gonna gravitate more towards the PlayStation because Sony's doubling down on the single player content, and I like the trophy system better.
Yeah.
So as far as that's pretty much all we got.
It, yeah.
So in the future, like once we get Hector's setup dialed in, we're gonna do all this on Discord.
And we're gonna definitely there's gonna be way more content, dude. Me and Garrett, dude, we're taking this full force. So we're gonna do console gaming radio every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you want to watch us and you want to see that, we'll continue to do it in the mornings on those days. We're gonna talk about a whole range of things. Like I was saying, dude, 2020 is a big year for us for gaming in general, but for us it's going to be a big year. Watch out for a lot of gaming commentaries, a lot of like analysis. I know G Million does a lot of that. He does a lot of like really breaks it down to details as far as what's good to get and what's going on in the gaming world right now. Watch out for my reviews. I'm gonna do full blown reviews. Graphics, gameplay, the story. I'm going to do a full-blown review on the newest upcoming games and a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of Let's Plays, so watch out for that. And it's going to be a big year, man. I'm excited.
See, with me, like, I just don't have time to play a game completely and just break it down like that. Like I could break down services because I could play that for a couple hours, just play that for a couple months and here and there and just talk about it. And that's just me because I do work full time. So.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a good year, and then, CGR is gonna go full force, man. This is just the beginning. Yeah. We appreciate you guys for watching. If you want any ideas for our next episodes or anything you want to see, just put it down in the description, man, and we'll go ahead and take a look at it. Eventually, we're gonna start doing some giveaways. We might do some game giveaways, some gear. We're going to jump into that. So it's going to be fun, man. Stick around, and thank you guys for watching.
And so tonight I'm going to do an episode with Stadia Talk. It's going to be 5:30 Pacific and 8:30 Eastern. Also look out for my GeForce Now video. I did a live stream of BioShock Infinite, but this time I'm going to go in full detail what I think of the service versus Google Stadia. And I think both services should exist, and so more detail probably in the weekend where I get off work.
And we'll do that, 5. Man. Yeah, and it'll be perfect, man.
And also I need to get his setup dialed in. I need to build him a computer.
Yeah, we're gonna do the whole 9. We already have everything in mind. It's gonna be legit, guys. Let's watch out for that.
Exactly.
All right.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Have yourself a good day.
And watch out for the next episode of Console Gaming Radio.
Exactly. Later today.